It's time for game number 2 between Cats and White-rA in the King of the Beta round of 8, where right now Cats is leading the series 1-0 after playing like a boss. Up in the top left-hand corner, the man that went 7 pool into Roach Rush, into Fast Burrow, into Fast Nidus Network to conclude with Swarm Hosts. It is Cats, the captain of Team Root. Down in the bottom right, one of the most famous beta players, one of the most famous esports athletes, period, and an all-round awesome guy who cooks incredible Korean barbecue. It is White-rA. Going for the early expand yet again. Now, I know many of you are as big a fan of 7 pools as I am, and despite the 7 pool being indubitably awesome, this map is a little bit weaker for the 7 pool. It's easier to wall off this ramp entrance. Even with these destructible rocks on the backside, protoss can still aptly plant his buildings to account for that. So White-rA doing the smart thing, just a subtle adjustment. Many protosses would plant their first pylon here or here to begin a wall off. White-rA automatically starts this pylon as part of the wall off, just in case Cats is up to something a little bit sneaky, which we see that he is not. On the other hand, Cats is someone who loves going hatchery first. In fact, he says that the risks of going for a hatch first play or the benefits of going for a hatch first play greatly outweigh the risks. Sure, you can get cannon rush, but it's very easy to double expand after that. So that would be a total of 4 hatches before pool. If you don't believe me, you should watch a daily that I did on it, or you should just watch a stream and then go lulz. In the meantime, it looks like Cats is going to be doing the usual early expand technique, sending 2 drones to 2 locations and expanding at whatever one isn't pylon. White-rA, ooh, because White-rA built that pylon and because the huge wide open front, he's kind of forced to go for this first forge. It looks like, uh-oh. Really? Really? Are you serious? Oh my gosh, that has to sting. Alright, I mean, sure White-rA eventually got the probe. Got the drone, but I mean, in terms of the absolute pain, I would say that White-rA is experiencing a little bit more. So we see more drones moving down. I've yet to see a pool. Oh god, I can't wait. Oh, I hope to god he goes for 4 hatch before pool. Let's see where he's going to build his next hatch. Will he build it up here? It's a little bit concerning to defend because this rock is generally knocked down by lings early on, but there really are no lings at this point in time. White-rA continuing to be a jerk butt. Ah, yes, the hatch here. Why is this hatch being planted here? Because Cats knows that he has to have a creep linkage between all of his bases, and because he's delaying the pool, he's delaying the queens, and as a result, delaying the creep tumors, which means that he has to use a hatchery to get that creep out early. So it looks like it'll be 3 hatch before pool. Not as abstract as what was previously stated. Really? Really? Well, it looks like White-rA is going full-out single-player mode. He's going for gateway and double cannon up top, and it looks like Cats may well be inclined to expand to the north position. At this point, we've seen White-rA really build nothing at his front. This might be very confusing to Cats, asking himself, why has there been no attempt to wall off? And I think he's starting to find out exactly why. Oh my gosh, you know, it's at a time like this and I actually want to stop doing commentary and just talk about how kick-ass this is. Are you serious? That's a gateway being chrono-boosted in the natural expansion of Zerg, going right by the hatchery built in the middle of the map as a replacement for creep tumor. So what will White-rA attack? This is a more vulnerable, or this is an easier to attack location because we can easily pull back and have our cannons at the backside, but it looks like White-rA is going full-out aggro donk mode. And he's going to be sieging the above ground with a pylon? Are you serious? Cannons are going down? Is this really happening? Is this a thing now? Is this a thing that's going to be happening to people now? In the meantime, it looks like Cats has decided to counterattack. Is there any defense here? No! No way! What? It looks like White-rA needs to wall off, and he's does not quite get it up in time. Or does not quite get through in time. That means that Cats is going to be relegated to wailing away at the front. So now Katz is in this awkward position where he's gotten double gas. What is his drone count at? Well, it looks like Zerglings have gotten into the main. 21 drones to 25 workers, and it's going to be a lot less than that soon for the Protoss player. With this layer coming up, that would imply that there's going to be Swarm Host and or Nidus Network play. 8 Lings in the main base is going to just be way too much damage for these probes to handle. Sure, they're surrounding, but I mean, the Zergling count is just going to rip through way too many probes. In that worker count, we see it's now 19 to 23. Couple of drones orphaned out in the middle of the map, couple of Lings as well. Cat's trying to figure out the best angle to retreat back. This is kind of a significant expenditure that we've seen out of White-rA. He actually has yet to get a cybernetics core down, just starting it at the good old 7-minute and 20-second mark, which means that he could get some 10-minute oracles out. Ooh! Spine's now planting. Looks like he will be using spine crawlers to ensure that he does defend that expansion. Now, what is Katz going to be doing up in his main base? He only has 2 in each geyser because he is the Sase of Zergs. LOL. He's going to be trying to likely go for some sort of very swift Nidus network. It's a clear vulnerability in White-rA's defensive structure. Could be going straight for Hydralisks along with that, and here comes the Spine Crawler Assault. The expansion will definitely be saved. An additional cannon was not constructed, so looks like Katz will end up losing just one of these, but with the 30 damage, what does I think these are? A sunken colony? What? Sunken colonies, come on. Katz is going to attempt to get in, but a Persnickety Zealot is in fact hiding to complete the wall off. Stargate is in the works. Spire Tech is the choice for Katz. Still think that a Nidus network plus some Overlord speed could have been a useful addition to this. But at some point in the future, Katz is going to need to take out these pylons, cannons, and gateway up in his natural expansion. Looks like there's still Zealots being produced. This is a nice play from White-rA. He's going to get the opportunity to scout. But in this position, White-rA is going to be a little bit decision screwed. He actually, in my eyes, cannot go for an Oracle. He has to begin going either Phoenix or for Void-rays right away. Going for the Oracle, I think, would be... oh, I think that this is going to be a grave mistake. I mean, given the tech that is possible out of Zerg at this point, almost certainly the layer tech will be finishing up Hydralisks and or Mutalisks. I mean, it's the air. Whoopsie daisies. A little bit of a biff there on Katz's part. It's the air in my eyes that I think is going to be really considerable of a concern for White-rA. White-rA's actually moving out right away. Is he actually going to get a second Oracle? Oh, that could spell doom. Is it going to come out? Well, right now he's chrono boosting an empty Stargate, and that will help him do absolutely nothing 50% faster. That's why I drink coffee before I end up watching TV. Oh, this is actually, I think, going to be a blessing in disguise for White-rA, as 6 Mutalisks are nearly popping out. The forward hatch, a little bit of a macro boost from Katz, is about to burst, and there we see the Oracle stepping into the fray. Looks like this hatch is about to take some serious hit, and there's the target firing right now on the Oracle. It looks like, what is Katz going to do? He's going to pick off the Mothership Core. That is a brilliant move. The Mothership Core is the one that contains the energy to do the Photon Overcharge on the Nexus, so now there's almost no anti-air defense from White-rA, and it looks like Katz is just going to go for it. He knows that there's an Oracle there. It's out of energy now. It's not going to be a threat for a little while. He does have 1-2 Queens soon enough available to be able to defend that, and he has 5 Mutalisks heading right onto the backside. It's going to be chrono-boosted Phoenixes and Stalkers, all for White-rA, and I think he may have barely gotten everything up in time as he's moving up into the back of the main base. He's dealing all them hurts, all them pain bring-ins to the Proteas. You see the Phoenix doing a lot more damage than it used to. With that range 5, it has the ability to kite much more easily, but White-rA's getting a little distracted. There's Mutalisks coming in from 2 angles. Mothership Core finished, but still not enough energy for that Photon Overcharge, where F stands for PH Photon. Ah, think about it. White-rA is losing a couple of these Stalkers, but they're largely expendable. Ah, Mutalisk Growly's getting screwed up. Looks like the Phoenix again getting a little bit misclicked. Katz is still having some potential to stay in this, even though that there's a base between his bases. Queen stepping out now into the action. Looks like yet again another accidental move from Katz. He's actually left absolutely no Queen back in his main base, and suddenly his production is going to be at an absolute standstill, and it looks like Katz knows that he's pulling back. Now, in the supply tab, we see it's 63 supply for White-rA, 73 supply for White-rA, and 67 for Cats. But a lot of that supply from Cats is in this somewhat cutesy unit, the Mutalisk. It's not a beefy assault unit like Hydras or Roaches, and there the Oracle steps on in, does manage to be dodged a little bit, but now Cats is going to be stepping in. White-rA is doing an excellent job applying pressure back to Cats. And there's this forward pylon. Oh my gosh, is now just going to be the assault center, as now White-rA will be able to warp in directly in the natural expansion of Cats. Phoenix is picking off all the overlords, shutting down all the vision fronts. Cats is trying to hang in there, but options starting to fall pretty thin. Phoenix is easily microed to be able to just annihilate those Mutalisks, and suddenly the micro goes down to almost nothing. It doesn't even matter. The Mutalisks just instantly evaporate. And now with the Swarm Host out, it might be a little bit of time that Cats can buy, but Phoenix is still lifting up the Queens back in the main base. We see the probes returning back to mining, and Oracle can pop out at any time to begin getting that detection needed to reveal the Swarm Hosts. Actually, I think I'm thinking of a previous patch. Either way, White-rA is just blasting forward. No, Envision does let you see things. Just detect. Yeah, there it is. Yes! Yes, thank God. Thank God there's tooltips in this game. It looks like White-rA is taking out this hash that was rebuilt by Cats to help abate the fact that there's really no Queens left. And even though the losses are starting to become inefficient for White-rA, he is applying all the pressure. Cats' supply block unit loss tab shows that, sure, Cats started off with a little bit of a stunning play, but it's White-rA who's really been winning the efficiency war, and now everything being lifted up out of the ground. One Swarm Host down, 2, maybe even 3 will fall. They're going to have to try to reburrow quickly. One of them manages to get in the ground, but the other one not so fortunate. Envision upgrade lets everything be revealed. More Stalkers get morphed in, and this is looking like an impossible game for Cats. After a crazy game, he types the GG, which means that this series has elevated itself to 1-1 status. Stay tuned, because when we return, it is time for the conclusion of Cats vs. White-rA. We'll find out who will be the first semi-finalist in the King of the Beta for Heart of the Swarm.